So, quick introduction, Tara Desisto is the development director for the Libertarian Party National, and she's here to talk to us about the value of diversity of thought and how that pertains to fundraising and how you need to meet people where they are if you want them to give you money. That is the very short and simplistic summary that I'm going to offer, and Tara's going to do a much better job. So, Tara, all right.
Hi, guys.
We caught her in between flights, luckily. So here's Tara.
Hey, everyone. I am super psyched to be joining you guys today. I'm sorry I'm in transit right now, but I'm hopefully going to be able to give you some fundamental tools so you can start fundraising for your campaigns or campaigns that you're working on. Little background on me. I come from a higher education fundraising background. I've worked with Bentley University, Harvard University, the University of Massachusetts, and several of the Harvard graduate programs around both policy and healthcare. So I have grant writing certificate. I have done some major grants. I've done some international work with USAID. And I've, of course, worked in the political sphere. I've worked on congressional campaigns, mayoral campaigns, and city council campaigns. So there's an interesting approach that a lot of candidates, when they start fundraising, they immediately try to align with their party, which is great, but they seek the donors from within that party. And as you know, Paul may tell you, or somebody at National may tell you, we don't have this plethora of donors that we can just hand over to our candidates. Can you all hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So we really, really need to inform you that it's your responsibility to do the fundraising for your campaign. And that doesn't have to start when you initiate your campaign. That can start beforehand. And I'll tell you the ways that I would encourage you to do it is prior to deciding to file for your campaign, put an Excel spreadsheet together of everyone you've ever met in your entire life, colleagues, you know, family members, neighbors, people you've done community service with in some way, people who your kids may go to school with, parents of kids that parents of children that your children goes to school with, people you know from your community. And don't just limit yourself to your community, limit yourself to everyone you've ever met, and make sure you create a column for their phone numbers, their emails, their employer, their occupation, and then their previous contributions, and then a notes column for yourself and a dates column for yourself. The notes column will be for whenever you do actually have a conversation with them. You want to make sure you're documenting those notes. Make sure you're understanding who they are and what their interests are. Whenever I'm doing call time with an LNC member or a candidate, I always have to reel them in a little bit because they want to jump right into their stump speech and talk about all the things that they're going to do. But that loses a lot of people right off the bat. People don't necessarily want to hear how you're going to change things. They want to change things the way they want to change things. And so it's going to be very important for you to identify who they are trying, what goals they're trying to achieve in their political universe, and align with those. So instead of telling people, this is what we need done and this is what I'm going to do, it's better to start off with a conversation like, how is COVID treating you? or how has COVID impacted you? That's going to tell you a lot about them through their response, whether or not the mandates have really hurt their business, or whether they've had a family member who got very ill and possibly passed away. We have to be really sensitive around those issues as well, and really take the time to be silent and listen to them as they reflect on things like that. Also, ask them questions. What are things that are happening in your community that are really important to you? And what are the things that you think are government overreach? I am interested in hearing about how I can impact change in ways that the people in my community are invested in. So I really want to take that in. So that's what I mean about meeting people where they are. That it's not about you and what you're trying to achieve. It's about what they are trying to achieve, and aligning with them to be a soldier in the battles that they're fighting. So you have your columns, you have all the people you've ever met, you have your information on them, and then you're going to, even before you decide you're going to run for office, you're going to call these people and let them know that you're thinking about it, just to gauge where people are at, and try to get some pledges before you've even established whether or not you're going to run. Just get people to commit. Yeah, this sounds really great. You know, you have been, you've really listened to me, and I'll support you. I'll kick you $200, or I'll be able to go in for 1,000. You want to note that down, because once you establish your bank account, once you establish your website where people can take donations in, once you establish a mailing address that they can send checks to, you're going to want to go back and touch all of those people again, and obviously sweep up all of those pledges that you've made. Recently, we have adopted a national program in Civi that allows, if your affiliate, if LP Alaska has decided that you are the candidate that they are going to support for a particular race, then you have some more resources in your wheelhouse. We can help you at national a little bit, build out your infrastructure. Again, we're not going to be able to give you donors. Just there's too many candidates across the country, but we will be able to help you set up your infrastructure along the way. You know, Kara Scholes is an excellent individual to help with that. And, you know, we want to make sure that you have access to those resources. But again, you really want to get the backing of your state affiliate and your local affiliates in this, because those are going to be the people who are knocking doors for you and who are holding signs for you, and all of those things that are also necessary to win campaigns. Have I lost anybody yet? Is everybody still with me?
Yes.
All right. So again, often I find, you know, I've worked with the Democrats, I've worked with the Republicans at times, and when I go to, when I get on the phone with Democratic donors, and I say, you know, we really have to defeat this candidate, we really have to, you know, make sure that this seat is held by this kind of individual, they immediately say, yes, you know, we have to defeat those Republicans. They have no soul. They have no moral compass. And then when I am working with Republicans and I hear, I have the same attitude, only it's, no, damn socialists, we have to defeat them. We have to, let me write you a check. Let me write you a check on both sides of the aisle. But libertarians, they tend to want to understand you a little bit more and know that you're aligned with their values. And so in order to understand that, you do have to stop and pause through the conversation and just check in with them periodically. How are you doing? What are the things that happening in your city that are critical to you right now. Just keep going back to that. If you have examples of community service that you've offered, if you have examples of experiences where you've defeated legislation or defeated some kind of extraneous law, you want to share that with them. You want to share your positive things that you've done, not just things that you want to do, but things that you've already done, things that you've accomplished. And then listen to them again, hear their response. Don't, if they're disagreeing with you, if they think, you know, maybe we don't need to legalize all drugs across the board, don't argue with them. Meet them where they are. I understand how you're feeling. This is a really important topic. But I think overall our criminal justice system has been oversaturated with Americans who should not be imprisoned. You can tie it back, don't argue with them, but meet them where they are before you engage them in an alternative strategy that is more libertarian. I'm here to get libertarians elected. I'm super excited to be part of the team at National doing that kind of stuff, because I think it's really time that we move some policy forward and stop criminalizing Americans. Make sure you have your key talking points that you want to hit, but don't script it out. Don't write a script, because people are going to hear your inauthenticness if you're just reading the same stump speech that you read for any event that you attend. You really want to make sure that, I'm so sorry for the background. You really want to let them know that you are a person who's engaging with them. You're not just a politician who's going to feed them a bunch of crap so they write you a check. You care about this stuff. This is important to you. And you're here for the long haul. So you want to convey that. And you can't convey that in a script. You can't, when you really have to give yourself to the people. I think Spike Cohen's there. Spike Cohen is somebody who's excellent on the phone with meeting people where they are. And, you know, if you get a chance to converse with him about how he's kind of talked people through some ways that they haven't always aligned with him, I think he'd be a really great asset for you to listen to. So we've gone over no scripts. Authenticity is important. Build your spreadsheet. Keep track of your individuals who you're targeting. Go back to them a couple times. Make sure you're listening to them. I know I'm spitting a lot at you guys, but I want to make sure that I cover so much while I have this small window of opportunity. Are there any questions for me thus far?
Let me check with the crowd, Tara. Anything on fundraising so far? Emma's got one.
Yeah, so what have you at National found to be the most effective way to structure networking? And this kind of applies to volunteers too. Is it your preference to work for the candidates to work through the local affiliate, and then the local affiliate is endorsed by the state and the state's affiliated with the LP? Is that the preferred structure for networking candidates?
Did you hear all that?
I didn't. Can you repeat that for me, Paul?
So you want to know what's the correct structure to network candidates. I think she was asking if they should start through local affiliate, then the state, then national as far as endorsements?
Like, I'm coming at it as a volunteer, and as a volunteer, it's confusing for me to know what candidates are considered authentic libertarian candidates other than just meeting the individual.
So
what
for
I'm looking for is what is National found to be the most reliable way to choose who you're endorsing, or to choose, you leave it up to the affiliates.
how does a volunteer or a donor figure out which are the right libertarian candidates to get behind? Is it through local affiliates, state, listen to national? Where do you get
It varies. It really does vary. And honestly, the best way to do it is make that personal connection with them. So of course you want to network with your local affiliates, your county affiliates. Uh, in where I live in Massachusetts. We don't structure anything in the way of counties. Everything's done through municipalities and regions. We have the greater Boston area. We have the Western Massachusetts. So however it's structured, you want to get in there. You want to go to their meetings. You want to identify that you're interested in running. And you want to identify the libertarian philosophies that you are aligned with. National does not endorse a candidate until either our delegates as a whole have come together and made that decision, or the affiliates in that region have come together. So for instance, we have a candidate in California who was running for governor. If there is another libertarian that decides to run for governor, we're going to stay completely silent on that until the state affiliate of California decides to endorse that individual. So donors are not necessarily affiliated with a party. You can't assume that all your donors are going to come from the Libertarian Party, because you want to get community members to fund you as well. You want to be a staple in your community, and you want to be able to demonstrate how individuals collectively can make decisions together without government mandates or edicts that insist that things are done this way. You want to leave as much opportunity for decision making to the individual, and if not the individual, then the communities as small down to the ward or the district as you possibly can. Endorsements come from relationship building. Fundraising is all about relationship building, and a relationship is not you necessarily telling people how they need to restructure things. It's again meeting people where they are, respecting diversity of thought, because libertarians are not the same across the board. It is a spectrum, and you have to honor that spectrum, especially with donors. You know, a lot of people get into these Facebook troll wars, or really, you know, put themselves out. I encourage you to have a Twitter. I encourage you to have a Facebook. I encourage you to be visible as possible. Make sure you have a functional website. That is key to viability in any donor universe. If you don't have a website, nobody's donating to you, because they want to investigate you themselves. Sorry. You're going to get endorsements by building relationships, by building good relationships, and having and demonstrating that you are the kind of person that people can really see stepping into an office and taking a leadership role, and hearing them and hearing the constituent base and representing the constituents. Because remember, it's not about you, it's about the people that you're serving.
Hey,
Did
Tara.
that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Tara. I got another quick question for you. You talked about how scripts are a bad thing because of inauthenticity. Couldn't agree more. But when it comes to emails, social media, even ads, things like that, does National have anything we can pull from? Are you developing anything that has, you know, here's some script that worked, here's a basic template that you can work from, something that just from scratch somebody might be able to pick up and get some ideas from, especially if they've never done it before?
Okay, so National has very different priorities than a candidate running. Obviously, we focus on things like ballot access. We focus on the Frontier Project. We focus on candidate support as a total program, not just an individual candidate. We have affiliate. You know, we have all these buckets. So when I'm working with an LNC member, the first thing I tell them to do before they get on the call time is, what are you raising funds for? I don't want to tell you this is the way that you're saying this, but you should have bullet points. What are you going to use this money that people are donating for? I really need to get an ad in the local newspaper, and it's going to cost me this much money. And I want to run that ad for 2 weeks every single day. And that's how much it's going to cost me. So I'm looking for sponsorships for that. I'm looking for contributions to help me build that visibility. If you need to print mail pieces, then you have to figure out how much that's going to cost you. You're gonna talk to all of your prospective donors about where you're going to spend their money, so that they know they're not wasting it. If campaign staff is very expensive. I'm trying to build the infrastructure to make a successful, viable campaign. And so in doing that, I need a solid campaign manager that's going to help me understand the district as a whole. So no to the script. If you get your affiliate endorsement for a statewide campaign, you may be able to get some help from national from me. I am more likely to step in and help an affiliate develop a development department that can then help those candidates on the ground than I am to help an individual candidate. Just because at national, our goal is to build the Libertarian Party's infrastructure as a whole. And one candidate, there's just too many areas where candidates are running. We just don't have the capacity to help every individual candidate. But our goals are to help the affiliates and strengthen the affiliates so they can be the support systems for their candidates that are running. So I don't know if Alaska has a development associate or a dedicated development volunteer that like heads up a fundraising committee. In Florida, I'm working with a development person who is the chair of their fundraising committee. And so I'm meeting with them bi-weekly to try to get their infrastructure settled so the affiliate themselves can build out the kind of infrastructure it needs to support the candidates. I'm also doing that in Massachusetts as well, because their leadership just turned over and they're looking to really strengthen themselves. Build partnerships with national for sure. Apollo's there, make sure you connect with him. I think, it's always good to stay involved with national, stay a member of national, stay dedicated, because specifically if you're trying to gain support from libertarians themselves, that kind of commitment to the party, it does go a long way. It does let people know that you're invested in the future of limited government for everybody, and trying to set a world, see a world set free in our lifetime. Those values are going to matter to other libertarians. They'll matter less to the community members that are not involved with the party, but you have to balance out. You're gonna get support from both within the party and from local community affiliates. And so wherever you can network, wherever you can have conversations with people, where you can talk about what the potential of your candidacy is, you want to get in those circles. But don't forget to listen. Don't forget to meet people where they are in every single conversation that you're having. Any more questions? Did I answer the one that you had, Paul?
Yeah, it just seems like I need to find myself in this room a Alaskan development director that'll be coordinating with you. So I'll work on that. It doesn't look like we have any more questions, and if you're all right with that, we'll actually take the extra time so we can so I can start early, and then we'll have time to drive to our lunch location, and you can get back to your travel.
Beautiful. I'm so sorry that this is the way I had to do this. I want you guys to reach out to me if you have any more questions. My email is Tara, T-A-R-A, at lp.org, lphq.org. You can actually get me from lp.org or lphq.org. They both come to me. I'm happy to answer questions where I can. And I look forward to helping Alaska strengthen its development team. And Paul, if you want to meet with me one-on-one and we can talk about how you do that, I'm happy to do that as well. I'm so grateful that you invited me to speak today. I wish I could have been in Alaska because I've never been there, and someday I will get there. seems so beautiful. I saw all the pictures that Joe Jorgensen had. It just seems like a beautiful place to be. So congratulations to all you guys for being in God's country. and thank you for taking the time to listen.
Well, whenever we figure out where our convention next year is going to be, I'll make sure and send you an invitation. But thanks for your time, Tara.
Beautiful, beautiful. And there's a regional training that will be done. I know that you guys are in a very, very large region, but I believe that your region is doing a candidate training, an extensive candidate training in Salt Lake City in July. I believe it is July 17th, if I remember correctly. So I will be there physically on the ground and would love to help anybody from Alaska that is able to find a way to attend.
Excellent. Thank you, Tara.
All right. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy your training.